Rolling camera.
These
action.
things which you see are Hegar dilators, okay? So they are numbered from 1 to 10. Thinnest to thickest. This is number 10. What is the use of Hegar's dilator? You put it in like this through the cervix and you use to check cervical insufficiency or incompetence. Like what they say, if a Hegar dilator number 4 or 6 passes very easily, 6 to 8, then you know it's cervical insufficiency. If this is the os, I'm putting in and when I'm pulling it out, you don't hear that tuck snap. You know it's cervical insufficiency. Fine. Yeah, read up the theory whenever you get time. So these instruments are known as retractors, abdominal wall retractors, Doyne's retractor. So once you make an incision here on the abdominal wall, you put a retractor so that you have a good view of your operating field. This is also another retractor. Retractor over. Now coming to easier instruments, what is this? Very easy. Eye spatula. Wooden eye spatula which is used to take the 360 degree swab or smear of whenever you are doing pap smear. Fine. So over, easy instrument.
Brush karo, ecto brush.
Okay. That is
Endo brush.
cervical endo brush. If this is the cervix, you go in, take a 360 degree brush and come out. Easy instrument. Okay. Episiotomy scissors. Whenever you see this and it's turning like this, you know there's only one thing which is episiotomy scissors. It's done. Fine. Next, what is this? This is, see, whenever you see something like this and it has a lock here, okay, which is opening like this. This is known as a valsillum. Okay, is valsillum traumatic or non-traumatic? Give me your hand. Is it traumatic or not? It is traumatic. Okay, so it's traumatic instrument. Over. Next, what is this? Again, another valsillum. This is known as ovum forceps. Very easy to identify. It's like an O. Fine. Where is this used for? Whenever you're removing products of conception. Imagine there's a molar pregnancy. You put in a speculum, you go in and manually remove those grapes with this one. Now, these are two confusing things. Okay. This one and where is Alice? Give me an Alice. The Alice. Fine, this is Alice. Fine. So see, all of them have clips. Okay, but there's a difference. When I open this is called this is not Alice, this is green Armitage. Sorry for the confusion. This is green Armitage forceps. Where do you use this? Green Armitage forceps is used in whenever you need vasostasis in cesarean section. Green Armitage forceps you identify with this marking, its ridges and its non-traumatic. Chalo. Now this one. What is this forceps? Good. This is known as Babcock's forceps. Again, it has a lock. Open like this. The good thing about Babcock's is it's non-traumatic. So, if I hold something like this, it won't be as traumatic as Alice tissue forceps. But where do we use Babcock? Imagine we have to hold the fallopian tube. We have to hold the appendix. Then Babcock is always used. Where is Alice? Yeah, this is also an important instrument. See, there are two things which are slightly turned like this. One is this and which one is the other I showed? Episiotomy scissor. But how do you differentiate? Episiotomy scissor doesn't has this lock. What is this? Tuck, you go and punch. Punch biopsy. Scissor. Next, what is this? This is normal scissor. This doesn't have any name. Why am I getting Alice tissue forceps? This is not Alice. Alice. See. Alice has these tooth-like projections. Okay. So,
Is it traumatic?
see, Alice. You hold it like this. So it's traumatic. This is the disadvantage of Alice. You compare Alice and Babcock. Both have clips. Fine. But this is non-traumatic. This is traumatic. This is for what? All appendix and you holding fallopian tube and hollow tubes. Good. Next, let's come to this historical instrument, Pinard's fetoscope. Okay, you put it on the abdominal wall and here. Next, what is this? These two. Yes, very good. This is anterior vaginal wall retractor. You put a sim speculum, you push the anterior vaginal wall and you see whatever is coming out. Whether this is cystocele, urethrocoele, you push in and see. But what is this? Yes, curate you. But don't say in the exam it's a curate first. Say this is anterior vaginal wall and this is curate. You pull this and you can take a curate during DNC. Yes, famous instrument. Chalo. This is, don't say Sims speculum. Say Sims bivalve vaginal speculum used for the posterior vaginal wall. Now, how do you hold Sims speculum? Always hold it in left hand. Now, there is a shorter side and a longer side. The shorter side goes in, the longer side stays out.
Sir, how do we differentiate between the long and the short side?
You hold it like
Eyes.
this.
Do you have eyes?
You have eyes.
Thank you, sir.
You are not a blind individual, na? Fine. See.
Even blind can feel and
Yeah, correct. That's a good point. So, what is the importance of this groove? Okay, you put in the Sims speculum like this. Acha. Most important is there are various sizes of Sims speculum. This is a larger one. There are smaller ones also. So, if a nulliparous lady who's just married or unmarried comes to you, don't put a large speculum and start poking her. Use a small one. Fine. And if it's a married lady, you can use a larger, or a multiparous lady, you can use a larger. So what's the use of this groove? Imagine you're checking a VVF, alright? You put this, urine or any other fluid can nicely flow, keep a container and send it for travel.
Which curate is used for obstetrics and which for gynec?
This is gynec, this is obstetric curate. Next, yes. What is this? This is known as Cusco's bivalve, self-retaining speculum. Now, what is another name of this speculum? It looks like a duck beak, so it's also known as duck beak speculum. Alright, just looks like a duck beak. It's a duck beak speculum. Now, what is the good thing about Cusco's?
Self-retaining.
Yeah, it's self-retaining. So, you put it in and you screw it. Okay. So, and then you can pass. And then you can pass any instrument via it. But it has certain disadvantages. Why are you laughing like this uncontrollably? Be serious. Yeah. So, you can pass any instrument through this. But the problem is, see, we usually don't use this when we are taking a what? Cervical smear and all, because it doesn't give you a full view or you can't get it. So we always use a Sims speculum. But if you have only, you don't have assistance, you need to use both your hands. Put it, fix it in position and do whatever you want. So different sizes. Next. Now any person will tell you Foley's, if you can't identify this, I don't know what to do. Now this is sound. You try and sound. See. Why is it like this? Why is it like this? Because the uterus is anti-flexed and anti-verted. And if you see, come closer, you'll see that it has markings. Why? Because we need to measure the distance between the vagina, introitus, and the os and the fundus. Alright?
Great prolapse.
To great prolapse. And uterocervical length. And ma'am said something else the other day.
congenital elongation of the cervix.
Yeah. This one.
Cervical income.
Congenital elongation of the cervix.
Insufficiency. This one, cervical elongation.
Forward device.
You edit this out.
If
Huh?
it's antiverted, how will it go? And if it's retroverted, how will it go?
It goes like this if it's retroverted, it goes like this if it's antiverted, as far as I know. But just confirm with experts. This is what? This is a suction. So, what do? The pressure is connected through this. Whenever babies come out, you have to suck the mouth first and then the nose. Alright? So, you have to suck the mouth first and then the nasal secretion.
You can just suction the mouth first. You don't have to
Suction. Sorry. Yes, now coming to Vontus. Okay. Now, there are two types of cup. Alright, there's a metal cup, there's a silastic cup. This is an example of a silastic cup. Available on various sizes. This is a smaller size, okay, which is the white one. And there's a color coding also. You have a red one, you have a blue one also. Blue one is larger. Alright, now in forceps and Vontus, you need to know certain theory. They're going to ask you what is flexion angle, where to place it. Alright, what are the indication, what is chigna or chignon more correctly. Chignon. What is chignon? Whenever you're pulling it, there is an. Give me the head, that baby ka. Now, if this is there, alright.
Nothing. Bolo.
Now, if it's like this, fine. What is happening is when you're creating a suction, there's an artificial caput which is formed, which is known as chignon. Then what happens, they're going to ask you all the various types of theory with respect to this. You start with pressure of 0.2 kg per centimeter square, maximum pressure of 0.8 kg per centimeter square. So where do you put it? It is put anterior to the posterior fontanelle. So it's put around here, and flexion distance is what, around 6 centimeter, na?
Centimeter, 2 centimeter behind that.
So you put like this, and you should pull in one shot along the curve of Caris. What is the advantages and disadvantages of vacuum over forceps? If you pick this, you should be clear and able to answer all those things. Now, coming to forceps, what is this? This is known as Wrigley's forceps. Okay, Wrigley's forceps is also known as outlet forceps. Outlet forceps. So they're going to ask you what are the indications of forceps. Cervix should be dilated, head should be below station 0 if you're using an outlet forceps. And the axis should be in front, that is only position of vertex. And what is the thing about ventouse? Ventouse can be applied only if it's vertex. Don't apply in face, and with the suction the eyes and everything can come out. So don't take that risk. So this is Wrigley's forceps. Wrigley's forceps is outlet forceps. What is that? This is in locked position. See. So if this is the baby, okay, give me a baby. So
Go to birth in 5 minutes.
if the baby is coming out like this, okay, what will I do? I'll pass my hand and put the left blade first, always. Okay, and I keep it. Then I put the right one and I put it like this, and then I will do what? I will lock it.
Left, matlab this left.
Left is mother's left.
Oh, mother's left.
Okay, then I come here and
Mother's left is this.
mother's left is this.
Your
Sorry,
left.
my
So
left.
this one should be first.
My left should be first.
Okay, your
Okay, then I sit here and so
baby is dead. Sorry.
this is what this is known as two forceps are remaining. Alright. Whenever you see this, you know it's an axis traction forceps. How do you identify axis traction forceps? Using this. So you lock it, and then this is the screw which you have to use to rotate the.
No, here. Either.
Either.
Somehow
And this you turn it, you lock it like this, and then you pull it like this. Axis traction forceps, so that the axis is. This is famous forceps. All right. This is known as Killen's forceps. See, what is this type of lock known as? Sliding lock. See, it's sliding like. There are two types of locks. One is sliding lock, one is English lock. It is nicely sliding like this. Whenever you pick up Killen's forceps, they're going to ask you, not used anymore. But where do you use Killen's forceps? Deep, very good. Deep transverse arrest. So this is what? Inlet or mid cavity forceps. This is mid cavity forceps. You go in deep. If it's deep transverse arrest, occipital posterior position, tuck and tuck.
Copper tea.
Copper tea, yeah, that's copper.
12 minutes का video.